5, 4, 3, 2.
Tier 1 performance.
Welcome back to the In and Out Talks podcast, powered by Tier 1 Performance. I am your host, Mitch Matulia. Today's special guest is he's my baby bro. And Louisiana Tech baseball legend, Phil Matulia. Phil, thank you for taking the time out of your day, man. Welcome to the show, brother.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you and Jordan, and I'm just excited to get into it all.
Dude, and for those OG In and Out Talks podcast fans, you might have remembered Phil coming on the show. Was it about a year and a half ago?
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm.
He was one of the original 5 guests that we brought on, and but now we have a new studio, new equipment. We had to get him back on the podcast to help teach and kind of mentor these young guys and give them some advice, especially now you're a married man.
That's right.
You're also now an instructor on the side.
Yep.
So I know that there's a lot of pride you take in that. We'll kind of dive into all that, Phil. But, man, talk us through, how's the married life? How's the new puppy?
Everything's good. Everything's good right now. Married life is going great.
Mm-hmm.
Summer, she's a doll. She's a pleasure to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Work's going well. I'm in banking, so it's not the most exciting thing ever, but it's fun. I'm an extrovert, so I can get out and get in the community and all that. But then, yeah, on the side, doing some baseball lessons. I need to be a part of the game.
Yeah.
Somehow. And I had some families reach out to me. They found out I was living in Shreveport, and they just Facebook messaged me. And was like, hey, we've got some cages. Will you come and do some lessons with our kids? And I said, sure. I'd love to. And so I do that a couple times a week, and just a way for me to kind of, get involved, because it is tough after, being done with baseball and calling it quits, hanging them up.
For sure.
Just going cold turkey into the work world, that's not so easy. And so it's a nice little wean into it to be able to do that on the side and stay involved.
Oh, yeah. And were these kids, like, former fans of yours? Like, did they come out to Louisiana Tech games?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first family that reached out, they come to a lot of Tech games, and they came to my baseball camp back when I did the Phillip Matulia skills camp a couple of years back.
Oh, yeah.
And they came out, and they just, randomly found me that I was living in Shreveport, and they were there.
You signed a ball for my kids.
That's
now,
right.
Now coach them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome, dude. And, hey, tell us more about the Phil Matulia Skills Camp, because that's something that you started while you were at Louisiana Tech. And is that going to be something that you continue doing, like, every year, annually?
Yeah, so so the way it started was it was my last year at Tech, so I finished my I guess redshirt senior year because of COVID, so it's my 5th year, and I was waiting on the draft, and I had some time to kill in the summer where I was training and I was working out and all that, getting ready, but I also didn't have any money, so I was like, well, I've got all these other players here, and we kind of came up with the idea, like I thought of it, I said, why don't we just do a camp?
Right.
That doesn't fall in line with the Tech baseball camps, because I didn't want to intrude on Burroughs and what he has going on with Matt and them. So I found a weekend that was kind of in between their camps, and went over to the local Little League fields and got some fields reserved and put on our first it was a 3-day camp. We did like hitting one day, defense the other day, and the last day was games.
Okay.
It was like a game day routine, and then went into an actual games that we played, and it was awesome. I had the first year I had Cole, McConnell, Logan McLeod. I had AD out there, Trent Touche, which was a grad assistant at the time. So I had some really, really good help out there with me, and they had a blast. I think we had close to 50 kids the first year.
Wow.
Second year, which was this past summer, probably had in the 30s, 35-ish. Okay. And we had ran some weather stuff, so that was a pain because you can't really plan for that. But yeah, as far as making it every year thing, we'll see. I might do it this year. I'm not sure yet. I love doing it. You know, the kids get a shirt with my face, my little silhouette on it. So they really like that. And, you know, we'll see. It's just, you know, if I do it, I got to get on it now and get the plans in place.
I think you should continue it, man. I think that'd be you're going to have a good show out, especially with weather permitting. What age ranges does it cater to?
Yeah, so the first year I did it, it was a morning group and then an afternoon group. So it was basically a full day thing. The morning group was, I want to say 7 to 12. So like late elementary school and then middle school. And then the afternoon group was 13 to 16. So it was like high schoolers. And then the second year I did it, I did 7 to 13, and that was it. Just one group throughout the day. And I liked that. The high schoolers, I didn't really get that great of a showing to come out for the high school group.
Right.
So I kind of just took that off. But yeah, no, I love working with kids, and especially when they're so young and they're not developed yet. And so they're like a sponge. And they can really, take everything in that you have to give them, and you know, especially when they're coachable, it's added benefit.
Absolutely. And so, like, let's talk about development for a second here. So, what age do you think is the right age for kids to kind of reach out, maybe pursue getting like a instructor to work with their swings, especially if their parents don't have any previous knowledge of like baseball or didn't play it at a high school or college level or anything like that?
Yeah. So, I mean, really, it all boils down to kind of what you said. Like if your parents have no idea or have no prior knowledge of any baseball background, the sooner the better, I would say.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't want to get a kid involved, 4, 5, 6 range. I mean, they're out there to have fun. They're out there to play with their friends, get after it, swing a bat, throw some balls around. But I would say once you start to get into coach pitch and then especially kid pitch, you want to start to get some development and to get, really increase your skill level, because that's what baseball is, extremely skill based. You can have all the athletic ability in the world, but until you can refine your skills in baseball, it's like golf, you're not going to get to that next level. And so I would say, at the earliest 8, 9, if you can get in there, get a few, a lesson a week, maybe 2 lessons a week in the off season, just to hone in on the specific hitting mechanics or the specific throwing mechanics or, fielding, fly balls, really everything. So you can really refine those skills and then sort of, try to increase that next level.
But you're also talking about kids that are serious into baseball, like kids
Correct.
who want to be there, right?
Yeah.
Instead of their parents forcing them to be there. I think that's important too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you have to want it yourself, because at the end of the day, if it's your parents that want it for you, well, you're not really getting anything out of it. I mean, it's just you're being forced to be there. It's not fun for you. It's probably not fun for us either as the instructor, because you're not going to be as coachable that way.
Absolutely. And aside from your finance gig, I know you're coaching a couple of kids on the side. So, how is it being on the coaching end of things with, as far as an instructor goes? Do you enjoy that?
Yes. Yeah, I do. I really do. I think it's kind of in our blood, especially with our dad and grandfather and uncles all being coaches.
Right.
I think it's just a part of our nature that we want to be involved. We want to help others.
For sure.
And we're lucky enough to be in the position that we are to, that have the dad that we had and his dad that he had to kind of help us build our skill level and then pass it on to the next generation. I think it's important, for people that do have that increased skill knowledge, that have played at the next level, to pass it on to the next generation, because, you don't want them to learn the wrong things. It's like, when I get these kids to come in and do lessons, sometimes they tell me what their old coach had said, and it's something that's totally off. And I'm just,
right.
I have to kind of retrain them and be like, okay, that's, maybe he had a reason for teaching you that, but I'm going to teach you something different that I think works for me. And I feel like I have a pretty strong case for saying what I think needs to be heard.
Right. Especially since I think we live in a world now where, hey, there's way more access to information than what we had growing up as kids. Like, kids watch YouTube, Instagram videos. Their dads watch Instagram coaches, YouTube coaches. They get all these ideas put into their heads and so many different philosophies. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, do you think that some kids are overloaded with information and they just need to kind of keep it simple and simplify it?
I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. There's just so much out there. I just can't even begin to think, if you're trying to look at every video, everyone's teaching something different. So you can't possibly figure out what you need to do for yours, and because everyone is different.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, there's so many different ways to teach things because there's so many different type of athletes that need to hear those different things, but you need to figure out what works for you. There's, 9 out of the 10 things out there won't work for you, but that one thing, will. And so you got to kind of, trial and error. You can try something, but you can't try to combine everything.
Right. And I know the way that you train, the way I trained and Jordan trained, and then also guys at like higher levels, like major leaguers, minor leaguers, they don't train with as many gadgets and toys as you would think. Like they keep it relatively simple. It's more so the quality of repetitions. It's more so seeing like a machine that's throwing you sliders, curveballs, changeups, different looks, right? So I guess like, when you do instructions, are you using tools? Are you using toys, or do you keep it pretty basic?
Not at all. No, yeah. Extremely basic. Growing up, this and I know this, is that our dad was really T front toss, T and like overhand, and really no short bat, no like wiffle ball stuff or different little mechanical things. It was just a lot of repetitions, a lot of swings. And I kind of took that and I continued that throughout my career, high school, college. I would never not start a hitting session without T. That was kind of a triple negative there. I would always start a hitting session with T.
Yes.
No matter what. I would never go into straight machine or anything like that because that just creates bad habits. You need that feel. One, you need to get warmed up. And two, you need to create that feel of, okay, I'm where I need to be. I'm hitting to the back of the cage, line drives, boom, feels good. Okay, let's move to front toss. Boom, that feels good. Okay, move to live or machine, whatever. And that I implement that with all the kids that I train. I said, look, I know it's boring. Do you think, Shohei Ohtani thinks it's boring? No, he does it every single day.
Right.
It's like, the tee is such a advantage to you because the ball's not moving. It's just sitting there. So you can work on all the stuff that you need to work on with your load, with your step, with anything. The ball's still sitting there waiting for you to hit it. It's not someone waiting to feed the machine or whatever. And then your mistakes are obvious. It's like,
right.
Okay, if you hook a ball and you roll it over, it's like, okay, I need to make that adjustment. I see what happened. If you hit it well, it should be line drive back of the cage, line drive back of the cage. Oh, you flare one? Okay, let me make the adjustment. Get back to where I need to be.
Absolutely. I think like you have to master the fundamentals. And it is boring at times, but like even Barry Bonds, greatest hitter of all time, in my opinion, he talks about you have to be perfect in batting practice. Meaning like off the tee, you're working on direction to all fields. You're working on, hey, I'm making contact with the outside pitch here, the middle pitch here, the inside pitch here. That's going to visually help you so that when a ball is coming at you in live batting practice, you know how long you have to wait to swing. You know what I mean? So I think mastering the tee, then the front toss, then the batting practice, that's so huge. And what me and Jordan see a lot these days of is kids wanting to hit so much off machines and not so much tee work and not so much live batting practice. What's the importance of like a live arm throwing to you in your opinion?
Yeah, so I'll be honest. I didn't even, other than, the iron mics at a hitting facility or something like that, I didn't hit off a machine until college. I don't know about you. I don't think you did either.
We never really hit off machines. No.
Yeah, I never hit off a machine in high school or middle school or anything like that. But once I got to college, that was real interesting. So I was terrible at hitting off the machine.
Yeah.
I was, good at live arm, and I enjoyed that. And that's extremely important. I think we never hit machines on scrimmage days or game days, ever. It was always live arm. We had a live arm person in the cage, live arm person on the field for on-field BP. Just because it's good to, it's not going to be as firm as your machine.
But it's good for timing.
But yeah, it's good for timing. It's good to see that just get your eyes trained on game day, see that release out of the arm. Especially, we had a lefty BP throw. If we were facing a lefty, it's good to see the lefty throwing. It just helps your eyes get ready for that. And then, machine has its advantages. Okay, velocity, yes. Curveballs, if you need to see some off-speed pitches, because you can't really, your BP thrower is not going to throw you curveball. I mean, they might, but it's not going to be great curveballs.
No.
But so it has its advantages, and it's important to an extent. You can't get to where you need to be with only hitting machines, I don't think.
I agree. And I tell kids, I kind of I compare it to lifting weights at a gym, right? It's like, hey, you need to use free weights, machines, and cables. They all have their place. You need to utilize all of them.
Yeah.
And so that's why I kind of tell kids, I'm like, hey, you need to utilize tee, front toss, live batting practice, and the machine. They all have their different places. And in my opinion, the machines are best used for training your eyes. So if you want to bump up the velocity to, like, say when you're in college, if you want to hit 100 off the machine, just to train your eyes, because a lot of college guys these days are throwing mid to upper 90s, some flirting in the 100s. Right. So I think training your eye that way and your timing helps. And then also having machines throwing different pitches obviously helps. Like if you're having trouble with the left-handed curveball.
Exactly.
And you're a left-handed batter.
That a lot, yeah.
And you're having it spit it out. Okay, well, if it starts at me or behind me, it's going to enter the strike zone roughly around this area. I think that's where its importance takes place.
Yeah, and if you want to use the workout analogy, I really like that is, if you say cables, free weights, machines is like, machines, front toss, live. Well, T work is your stretching. It's like, you're not going to be very athletic if you're not flexible. I'm sorry.
That's true. It's a fact.
It's not possible. You're gonna get injured, or you're just gonna be stiff as a board.
Yeah.
T is essential above all the others, I think. But all are necessary. So.
What are some things that you notice now that you wish you would have done during your playing career, as far as like off the field stuff, on the field stuff? Kind of, dive into that a little bit.
I would say that's a good question. Off the field, I was a good student, so there wasn't really anything as far as classroom that I needed to improve on, because it does correlate. Classroom, people that make good grades in the classroom generally are good players on the field.
Agreed.
People that do not care about school or don't go to class generally don't get their work done on the field, in the weight room, stuff like that. We had a good weight program. I feel like I was a bit limited just because my freshman year of college I had knee surgery, and so unfortunately, I actually came in as a catcher. I think we talked about that on the last podcast. Got moved to the outfield, and so unfortunately I was a bit limited just on all like leg stuff throughout my college career, squatting, lunges, which I would still do it, but as far as weight, just had to kind of be careful. But as far as things I would have improved on, man, probably the basic stuff that I would say 90% of players need to improve on is diet and stretching.
Right.
That's the big thing. I would say I did a good job stretching, not a great job. Good. And then diet, I feel like during the season, we always had a good diet because we were getting fed by the team most of the time, so they had food coming in. But in the off season, I probably needed to be more regimented as far as, my rice, chicken, veggie, or my rice, steak, veggie, rather than, a couple times a week I can go run over to Chick-fil-A or whatever. It's good to stay regimented in the off season, especially. So.
Food is fuel at the end of the day, right? So what you put in your body definitely impacts your performance.
Yeah.
So, to those high school kids out there, college guys, would you recommend that they start learning how to cook and like taking care of themselves at a kind of a younger age and being more independent, so that can kind of prepare them for college?
Definitely. Yeah. And that's just trial and error. No one's good at cooking the first time.
Oh, I remember your cooking was awful,
terrible,
dude.
terrible.
Yeah, your rice looked like soup.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Trial and error. Really bad. You're going to overcook it. You're going to undercook it. Same with chicken, steak, whatever. But yeah, definitely get into it. Ask your mom, ask your aunt, ask your grandma to show you what they do if you like their chicken or whatever. That's it, and it saves you money. Shoot, everybody in
100%.
college is broke, and so if you can
Everyone's
save
broke.
a couple dollars here and there, I mean, might as well take advantage.
For sure, because I mean, I hear a lot of excuses out there from our players, and it's like, hey, how much time do you spend on video games? How much time do you spend on your phone? You could be preparing food throughout the course of that time.
Yeah, it's not hard.
It's
Doesn't
not
take a lot
hard,
of time.
and there's cheap alternatives, right? You can do tuna, you can do chicken. PB&Js aren't bad for like a high school athlete. You know what I mean? Fruit. There's cost efficient ways to make it happen, and I'm sure with the amount that you're saving on food that you're cooking for yourself, rather than going out and getting fast food.
Yeah, so here's a little cheat code. Go to Walmart, get the 2-pound bag of rice. I think it's like $2.
Okay.
Okay.
Listen, kids, this is important.
10-pound bag of frozen chicken. It's going to run you anywhere from, I'd say, $18 to $25 in that range. So around $20, which for 10 pounds of chicken, that's going to be, 10 breasts. So $2 a breast.
Right.
Not bad. Not bad at all. You got your rice, your chicken, get a bag of frozen veggies. If you want to get the fresh veggies, if you want to chop them up, throw them in, that's not very hard. Frozen veggies work great. You can cook all that stuff at the same time. Chicken will take the longest. It'll be all of 20 minutes to cook.
Do you put the chicken in the oven, or can you grill it? A little bit of both?
Yeah, either one. Easy for me. You just get a pan, you got to defrost the chicken first.
Season it all.
Don't throw it in frozen, kids.
Yes, don't throw it in frozen.
Defrost the chicken. Put the chicken on the tray. Season it. Salt, pepper, garlic, any other chicken seasoning you want. Boom. Throw it in 375 for 20 minutes. Done.
And then do you steam the veggies?
Yes.
Steam the vegetables.
Steam, or you can do a little stir fry on the stovetop.
Right.
Put it in with some teriyaki,
And then you do eggs in the morning for breakfast.
Boom.
And
Eggs, sausage.
Rotate between different proteins, between like your turkeys, your fishes, your steaks, your ground beef, bison, whatever it is.
Yes.
I mean, so how many meals ideally should like a high school athlete, college athlete be eating per day?
I would say four to five. And honestly, what was actually really surprising me, which, our mom was really good about making sure we had, 3 square meals a day growing up. She was a really good cook, and she made sure that on us. I didn't realize how many people didn't eat breakfast.
Right.
Which is crazy to me.
How important is it that an athlete eats breakfast?
Extremely. I can't function without breakfast. If I don't have breakfast, I'm brain dumb in the morning.
When I hear about athletes having early morning lifts and not eating anything beforehand, it blows my mind.
Yeah. Eat a little, eat a Nature
Something.
Valley bar, something. Eat some peanut butter crackers before you lift. Like, something in your system. Especially if we had 5:30 weight. So it's not like I was going to get up at 4:30, make eggs, and then go. But, I would eat them after. So I'd have my Nature Valley bar, cup of coffee, lift, make my egg sausage when I got back with a protein shake. So that's honestly, you're already at 2 meals before,
Before noon.
before 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'd eat lunch around 11. Usually chicken and rice or burgers or whatever I made that week. And then after practice, which was usually in the afternoon, I'd eat something, same thing, usually whatever I had meal prep that week. And then before I go to bed, eat a peanut butter sandwich, glass of milk. Best way to gain weight, which I always had a problem gaining weight. Now it's a lot easier to gain weight when you're not burning all the calories every day.
100%.
If you have trouble gaining weight, eat as soon as you wake up and eat right before you go to bed. Those are the 2 best hacks for gaining weight.
Good weight.
Don't eat junk.
Don't eat junk.
Eat peanut butter sandwiches. Drink protein shakes. Eat eggs. Eat avocado toast. Whatever. Just something in your stomach right when you wake up, right before you go to bed.
That's smart. And so all you athletes out there, try to aim for 4 to 5 protein dense meals per day. Now, as far as the stretching and mobility work goes, how often should you be stretching per day, do you think?
Yeah, I probably, so we did weights in college. No, so I know let's start in high school. So high school, I was probably working out a few times a week, nothing crazy. Couple days, some weeks I would get 2 lifts in, some days maybe 3. Nothing too serious. Probably was not stretching nearly as much as I should have.
Right.
College, I was a lot better about stretching because we had to with weights and practice and everything.
For sure.
High school was probably just stretching before practice, which wasn't much. And yeah, I would say 3 days a week. That's for a high school athlete, especially baseball, is plenty. In my opinion, 3 to 4. Nothing. Don't go crazy on weights. Don't be barbell benching a ton. Squatting. Make sure if you're gonna put some weight on there, like good form. Form comes first.
Right.
Do a lot of free weights, a lot of dumbbell stuff, a lot of rows, back, forearms. Those are the most important muscle groups for baseball, and then legs, obviously. But stretching, got to be twice a day. Mm-hmm. That's what when I got to college, that's what we were doing is we were stretching 10, 15 minutes before weights in the AM, 10, 15 minutes before practice in the afternoon. Probably could have done more on my own, like at night.
Mm-hmm.
Like
a static stretch session before before you go to bed.
Something simple like that. Did not do much of that, but I did, go to the weight room on my own quite a bit and stretch there, and then do some extra cardio, extra abs, extra forearm stuff.
And it's a mix between like dynamic and static stretching, would you say?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, both, always. Before weights, before practice, a lot of, you got your dynamic, which is like the high knees, butt kicks, Frankensteins. You got your static, which is touch your toes, quad, stuff like that.
The holds. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. No, and I think that's good for our listeners to kind of hear it and listen to is just how to take care of their bodies off the field, because it's like a lot of these kids, they do a good job of hitting for the most part, and they do a good job of lifting weights with their team, right? I don't think they're always well supervised by their coaches, but they're at least getting to the weight room. But it's like lifting with more of a purpose, stretching with more of a purpose, not like having like conversations so much. And I think just kind of like focusing on your craft is so important. And like, what's your take on like the amount of focus level and the intention behind the reps that you're doing in the weight room and off the tee, everywhere?
Yeah, I really regret not getting into the weight room earlier, I guess.
Yeah.
So like my freshman, sophomore year of high school did not work out much. Mm-hmm. Not much at all. I regret that. And you don't have to do much.
No.
You can go in there lightweight, because you don't want to go, too crazy, but have a program in place. Mm-hmm. Have a set 3 days a week. You're going to the weight room at your school, at your, near your home, wherever. If you have a home gym, great. But go in there and have an arm day, have a leg day, have a cardio ab day, forearms, whatever. Have a program and be regimented and do it. And I'm telling you, the benefits far exceed, the time and the energy to do it.
I think strength output is directly correlated with things like speed and velocity. I mean, I think they're starting to find that pitchers who lift starting at a younger age, it saves their elbows and shoulders, right? Because they're beginning to use their legs a little bit more and their core. But B, it's literally adding 3 to 5 miles an hour velocity on their fastballs, at least.
Yeah, go look at all the high school players that get drafted in the top 20 picks. Mm-hmm. They're strong. They're all pretty big.
They're strong.
They're big boys.
Yeah.
They're not, I promise you, they're not lifting their sophomore year of high school like I was.
So how early do you think that kids should be starting to at least do body weight exercises at the bare minimum?
Shoot, body weight, you can do that whenever.
As young, elementary school?
Yeah, I would say you can do body weight squats when you're in diapers, No, not that early. But, I would say middle school. Yeah, easily middle school, if not earlier.
I tell kids all the time.
Push-ups, sit-ups, bodyweight squats.
You should be at least doing push-ups, pull-ups, squats, planks, core work, plyo, med balls in elementary school.
Yeah, that's, 10 minutes a day. Like, it doesn't take much.
No.
10 minutes a day.
And by middle school, you think that guys should be full out lifting weights?
Middle school. I would say if you're lifting weights, very light weights.
Right.
Maybe just stick to dumbbells. Maybe not as much. I mean, you can do the bar, like barbell squat. You can do, if you want to throw a 10 on there, do that. Lightweight here and there. High school is when you start to put more weight on, for sure.
Right. But certainly get with someone who knows what they're doing.
Yes, and then form comes first and foremost. Do not put a bar on your back if you don't know what you're doing. You're going to hurt yourself.
Right.
You know, you got to get with a coach or get with someone that...
Get with a personal trainer, at least for a few sessions if you can, if you have the access to it, right? Like, you don't need to be with that trainer maybe long term.
Reach out to Tier 1 Performance.
Reach out to Tier 1 Performance.
That's
Reach out to like a local company, local mentors, guys who've been there, done that, who can teach you how to lift with proper form. I think that's so important.
Yeah, and, you know, because that's probably the biggest reason why parents don't want their kids getting into weights young is because either they don't know or they're scared that, you know, they're like, we've heard you don't want to have them lift so young. Well, it's like, if they're lifting properly, nothing's going to happen.
Right.
You know, there's no fear that they should be getting hurt if they're doing it properly. Now, if they're not, then okay, you know, maybe one wants to take a step back and learn a little bit.
Right. I completely agree.
Yeah.
And so, Phil, like, how much are you, I guess, paying attention to baseball nowadays, like as far as college and professional levels go? Do you still keep up with the game and where it's at?
Yeah, I keep up a good bit, especially college. Professional, I mean, the season hasn't started yet, but I'll keep up for the most part. But college, yes, keep up with Tech, keep up with Conference USA. I'm on the NCAA, checking out who's doing what teams are in it and stuff like that. Yeah, I enjoy it. I miss it. It's something that'll always be a part of me and something that I'll always pay attention to. For
sure. And what do you see in the current state of baseball that was different from whenever you played? And like, do you think it's going in the right direction?
Yeah. I mean, the athletes are crazy. I mean, I wasn't in. I haven't been out long, so it's only been a couple of years. So I saw it. You know, even at the tail end of my career, is pitchers are throwing, you know, in the hundreds, in college, which is, you know, that's pretty firm.
Yeah,
that's pretty firm. And freshmen are coming in throwing in the mid to high 90s, and that's crazy to see this guy going to college rather than, you know, 5 years ago, a pitcher throwing 95 his senior year of high school is going in the first round. It's like he's not going to college.
Right.
So I think NIL has a little bit to do with that. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, he can sign for $1 million plus, or he can go get a degree and still make a couple $1 million at the same time, and get the college experience and get more pitching experience and, you know, get more scouts' eyes on you and, you know, develop some more pitches with an actual pitching coach. And the same goes for hitters as well as pitchers. But, you know, I just think that the athletes are better. I mean, they're better.
I can't talk as much for Division II, III, and NAIA, but what I can tell from an outsider perspective is that the development at the Division I level is so much greater than it used to be. And so now I think a lot of guys, instead of going into the minor leagues right out of high school, they're more willing to go to a good Division I program because A, they're going to get paid by NIL, and B, it's just they're going to develop more, and they're going to be more MLB ready by the time they leave college. Mm-hmm. They're not going to suspend as many seasons in the minor leagues as they would have. If they're good enough to go professional.
Right. I would say the only counter argument, just playing devil's advocate, is the pitcher, you know, that is the high school pitcher can get drafted high enough to take it or go to college, is the innings on his arm, right?
Right.
It's like, you know, do you want that extra 4 years or 3 years of innings on your arm, or do you want to try and save it and you know, get to the MLB in the next 3 years through the minor leagues? But that's just a personal decision that someone has to make, and you know, who knows? You know, you could get bigger, faster, stronger, and develop better in the minor leagues in college to help your professional career.
Right, because I'm taking a look at some of these facilities that these Division I programs have, and they're impressive. Even like mid-major D1 programs now have really, really solid facilities.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, do you feel like the coaching is at a higher level now in college baseball? Or development-wise?
Development-wise, yes. As far as coaching, like game day, that's going to be, I don't know.
Pretty similar?
Yeah. Development, yeah. I just think everyone's got, there's so many philosophies out there for pitching, hitting, defense, everything, that, you know, they just know so much.
Right.
That I feel like every year you're learning something else that comes up that like, oh, this hitting technique is actually something that no one's ever thought about, or it's something different to just help you think. Because that's at the end of the day, like we said earlier, is everyone's different. You know, some things click for me. Our bodies are totally different. Some things will click for me like they don't click for you, or vice versa, because one, our bodies move differently, and we just think differently.
Right.
It's like I might think like, okay, I gotta, you know, get my hands back, but you might think, okay, I gotta push my hands this way, or whatever it is. You just, some things and taught, and I try to, you know, explain that to the kids when I'm giving lessons. You know, some things I say might not make sense to you, so stop me if that's the case.
Correct.
Because I've heard all these terms before and I know what they mean, but you probably haven't heard a lot of the things I'm gonna say. So if you know, if I say stay back, that could mean a whole bunch of things. You know, stay back in your stance, stay back and let the ball travel, stay back, you know, whatever. But if they don't even know what that means, then I need to kind of explain that and not get ahead of myself. And so, I mean, that's, so kind of to answer your question, yes, the coaching is better just because they know so much, and I think they're able to apply it to the modern day athlete.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think it's always good to kind of keep an open mind as a young athlete and kind of try different things, see what works for you. But also, you know, I do think that there are some coaches out there who try to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. And it's like, hey, we've seen some of the greatest hitters of all time. We've seen the way they do things. So how do you kind of take into, do you want to like try to mix new school with old school approach? Like, do you want to try to find a happy medium whenever you coach athletes?
Yeah, I don't really teach a whole lot on the new school, just because I'm comfortable with what I know.
Right.
And I think it works, and I don't really want to speak on stuff that I don't know a whole lot about.
Right.
Just because I might be teaching it wrong, or it might not, you know, and if something that I feel like works for me and it doesn't work for them, well, then I do need to go do some research and see what might work for him differently.
Right.
But that's on me as a coach. I need to be flexible in that sense, to where, okay, this guy's not understanding what I'm trying to teach to him right now. Well, I need to figure out a different way to teach this so that he can understand it.
100%. And I think it's important for young athletes to know that, like, hey, there's not one set stance. There's not one set swing. But there are a few things structurally that all the best hitters do. Right? Maybe it's the posture. Maybe it's the way their hips move. Maybe it's the way where their hands get into their launch position or load position, whatever you want to call it. But there are some like firm similarities I feel like that all the best hitters have in common. Would you say that? Like,
yeah, definitely.
You find the case that?
Yeah, I mean, you can go and look at every single go look at YouTube MLB clips. So you got Kevin Youkilis with his hands way up here. You got Gary Sheffield with his hands going crazy right here. Every stance is unique. No one has the same exact stance.
Right.
But, you know, once Kevin Youkilis gets into his load, he gets his hand down here. That position is going to be very similar.
Pretty universal.
To the load power position of like Shohei Ohtani or whoever. So once you get into that, that's pretty universal to where, okay, you know, my weight needs to be back, my hands need to be back, and they need to be in this vicinity or whatever have you. Yeah, so there's differences, but then there's also a lot of similarities, especially, you know, and then again at contact, like, you know, I need to have my power L, like at contact here. I need to be like head behind the ball, right off my front foot or whatever. Just different things that you look for. Especially what I look for is I tell kids, I'll show them little screenshots of like Mike Trout at contact. Like if you can, you know, obviously everyone knows who Mike Trout is.
Do this.
Yeah, just copy this guy. All right. No, but I tell him like, okay, look, you're swinging and your back leg is straight. Okay.
Right.
It's like I need you to get your weight back and bend it, almost like a lunge position, so to speak. Now, if they can't understand that, I show them. I'm like, here's a slow motion of Joe Mauer hitting, with the Twins.
Joe Mo.
I'll show them, try to be in this position at contact, and then sometimes visually it helps them a little bit more.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's funny that you said power L. I could just see Lane Burroughs preaching that. Power L.
Power L, yeah. Keep the elbow tight, right in your rib cage.
Good old Marty Matulia reference.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That was I think the first time I heard that was actually Ryan Lusto in high school.
Ryan Lusto?
Yeah, he
Power
said
L.
Power L. It was either at a camp or my freshman year. I was like, Power L.
That's awesome. Well, dude, man, so are you just chilling these days? I mean, you enjoying life in Shreveport, Louisiana? When are you going to move to Houston?
Maybe soon. But no, I'm enjoying Shreveport right now. Summer and I, we're living up there. We got a house, and I got a little puppy dog, Loxie. She's keeping us up at night.
A little golden doodle.
Literally and figuratively. She's a blast though. And we're getting involved in our community. I'm just trying to do what I can to get to meet people and to get out and.
You're mingling?
Oh yeah, trying to mingle. Always trying.
What are
to
you
mingle.
doing? What are you doing out there?
Just volunteering here and there.
Okay.
With different organizations, and then trying to get on some boards to try to make a difference in the community.
Trying to run for mayor out there?
Yeah, exactly.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, 2027. I'll be.
That's the year, dude.
Vote for me.
Well, Phil, man, it's been an honor having you on the show, baby bro. Love you, man. Thank you for taking the time. Whenever you do make the move out here, you got a spot with Tier 1.
Perfect.
So yeah, no.
There we go.
But dude, we'll get you back on another time. Thanks so much, dude.
Of course, my pleasure.
Five, 4, 3, 2,